Namaskar. A warm welcome to all of you on your YouTube channel CA Sansaar. Myself CA Vivek Khurana, and today we will discuss from the series of Know Your Ethics, Communication to and Communication from the Previous Auditor, Part 2. Part 1 we have already discussed that communication to the previous auditor, and today we will discuss about the communication from the previous auditor. So before going to start, my request to all of you, please subscribe to your YouTube channel CA Sansaar and also press the bell icon so that whenever we upload new video, you will get it notified. So in our previous video, we have discussed about the communication to previous auditor, means whether it's the NOC or the communication that we have already discussed. Up part 1, you can check it from the CA Sansaar YouTube channel. Even we will also post into the comment section. आपको link मिल जाएगा into the comment section. And today we will discuss about the communication from the previous auditor, means in case of any qualification, in case of non-compliance, or in case of pending fees. So whether the incoming auditor should accept the audit assignment or not. So before going to start, before this discussion, let me just brief you about the communication to previous auditor. In clause 8 of part 1 of first schedule to the Chartered Accountant Act 1949, in this clause, it's clearly mentioned that before accepting the audit, it's the duty of the incoming auditor to communicate in writing to the previous auditor. Means अगर आप communication, written communication नहीं करते, then guilty for the professional misconduct as per first schedule that we have already discussed. The means NOC nowhere. Again, I'm saying nowhere it's written that NOC. And then we have discussed what's the mode. 3 modes or 2 modes already there. एक और new mode में आप कर सकते हैं which ICI notified. First is communication through registered acknowledgement, registered AD. Second, by hand against a written acknowledgement. And third, which recently notified through the email. So that we have already discussed. Then we have discussed about the what's the meaning of previous auditor, कि आप किसको आपने communication करना, written communication. Then we have discussed about the when it's mandatory and when it's recommendatory, means किस audit में mandatory है and when it's the recommendatory. Then now today we will discuss about the communication from the previous auditor, means retiring auditor, जो previous auditor है, he should send a reply as early as possible because there are reasonable time. In clause 8, nowhere it's mentioned the reasonable time is there, but in general practice, it's the reasonable time is there that retiring auditor can communicate to the incoming auditor about the reasons. So there can be two situations. First, the retiring auditor communicate with the reason अगर वो reply करता है, and second, he doesn't reply. So let's see the situation first कि he reply with reason. तो क्या reason क्या हो सकते हैं? So if the incoming auditor received the communication from the previous auditor, then based on the fact and the case and the response from the previous auditor, incoming auditor need to evaluate, means आपको check करने हैं reason कि whether you should accept the assignment or not, means if there are some professional reason that whether you can accept it or not. So let's see क्या reason हो सकते हैं. First reason can be, क्या reason हो सकता है? He can say that non-compliance of the provision of section 139 and 140 of the Companies Act 2013. This is only for the companies auditor. बाकी tax auditor, GST auditor, we have to see the relevance act कि that compliance has been made or not. So first, the incoming auditor should check that section 139 and 140, which are for the appointment of auditor, qualification, disqualification, he has to check whether compliance has been done by the company or not. And in case there are no compliance, then he should not accept the audit. He should not accept the audit अगर 139 or 140 compliance नहीं है under the Companies Act 2013. And in case if he accept, then guilty for the professional misconduct. So first you have to check that compliance has been made, and then you can only accept. Or compliance nahi hai, then you should not accept. And it's another reason can be pending fees, which is very important. And many cases with the ICI regarding this disputed fees, undisputed fees. But let's first check about the undisputed fees. Non-payment of undisputed fees by the auditee, other than in case of SIC unit for carrying out the statutory audit under the Companies Act 2013 or various other statutes. So in case any undisputed fees is pending, कि आपके प्रीवियस ऑडिटर या रिटायरिंग ऑडिटर की कोई फीस पेंडिंग है undisputed. What's that meaning of undisputed? That we will discuss. So first, auditor should ask to pay the fees, then only accept the audit. So an auditor should not accept the appointment unless such fees are paid, or otherwise would be guilty for the professional misconduct. So first, auditor should ask to the entity जो कंपनी है, please pay the fees, and then only he can accept the audit, otherwise guilty for the professional misconduct. And what's the meaning of undisputed? Undisputed audit fees means provision for audit fees in account signed by both the auditee or the auditor. Means in accounts provision has been made, and this account has been signed by the client and the retiring auditor. That's called undisputed fees. So undisputed fees may, it's your duty as incoming auditor, first ask the company to pay the fees, and then only you can accept the audit. And in case of disputed, अगर रिटायरिंग ऑडिटर इफ ही सेज कम्युनिकेशन में आपको कि नहीं माय अदर ड्यूज आर आल्सो पेंडिंग, नॉन पेमेंट ऑफ अदर ड्यूज, then in this case there are no professional misconduct. Means undisputed fees में there are professional misconduct, but in case of any other this one dues, means some disputes are there, client कहता है नहीं ये नहीं है, and auditor is saying कि no this is there, but in this case no professional misconduct are there. But yes, it's the duty of incoming auditor that he should in appropriate circumstances use his influence in favor of the previous auditor to have the dispute as regards the fees settled. Means उसको influence करना है clients को, प्लीज आप सेटल करिए जो भी उनके डिस्प्यूट्स हैं या जो भी उनके ड्यूज हैं प्रीवियस ऑडिटर के, प्लीज पे दैट, बट इट्स नॉट द प्रोफेशनल मिसकंडक्ट. एंड वन अनदर रीजन में बी देयर दैट प्रीवियस ऑडिटर क्वालिफाइड द रिपोर्ट, कि अगर उन्होंने क्वालिफाई रिपोर्ट कर दी है देन वेदर वी शुड एक्सेप्ट द ऑडिट और नॉट. So as per ICI, there are no rule written or unwritten that in case of qualified report, you should not accept the appointment. Yes, you can accept the appointment. No professional misconduct are there. But yes, you can check. अगर जब आप accept करते हैं, then you should satisfy yourself that what's the attitude of the retiring auditor, whether it's the proper and justified, and in case you feel that retiring auditor has the valid, good and valid reason to qualify the report, then you should not accept the this audit. Means अगर आपको लगता है कि जो retiring auditor ने qualify किए हैं it's because of some good and valid reason, then you should not accept this audit. But in other case, either it's qualified, you can accept the audit. And situation second, first situation was communication from previous auditor. Now situation second, no communication from the previous auditor. कि आपने communicate तो कर दिया written communication to the retiring auditor, but उसने कोई reply नहीं किया. Then what's the duty of the incoming auditor? Then generally, I told you, nowhere in clause it's mentioned that reasonable time are there, but it's the general practice कि after reasonable time, the incoming auditor may accept the appointment and can start the work. But in case there are no time to wait, means in some cases you have to start the work, आपको immediate appointment accept करनी है, there are no reasonable time are there, then you can accept the audit. You can accept as a conditional acceptance. आप conditional acceptance accept कर सकते हो and can also start the work. Yes, but in your acceptance letter you can mention that my acceptance as an auditor is subject to the professional objection, if any, from the previous auditor. कि आप लिख सकते हैं कि आई एम गिविंग माई कंसेंट लेटर, माई एक्सेप्टेंस लेटर, बट दिस इज सब्जेक्ट टू द प्रोफेशनल ऑब्जेक्शन ऑफ माई प्रीवियस ऑडिटर. इफ ही हैज सम एनी ऑब्जेक्शन, एंड देन आई विल डिसाइड द फाइनल एक्सेप्टेंस. सो अगर आपको कोई कम्युनिकेशन रिसीव होता है प्रीवियस ऑडिटर से, देन यू कैन डिसाइड इट. अगर नहीं होता, देन इट्स द फाइनल एक्सेप्टेंस. So this is regarding the communication from previous auditor. So now it's clarified. No need of NOC. आपको कोई NOC नहीं लेना प्रीवियस ऑडिटर से. ओनली रिटर्न कम्युनिकेशन टू प्रीवियस ऑडिटर. अगर आप ऑडिटर अपॉइंट होते हैं किसी कंपनी, किसी एंटिटी में, देन इट्स द मैंडेटरी रिक्वायरमेंट अंडर क्लोज 8 of part 1 of first schedule of chartered accountant 1949 that you have to communicate in writing. It's the mandatory requirement. And communication from the previous auditor, it's the recommendatory. अगर वो करता है then it's good. अगर नहीं करते then you can accept after reasonable time. आप accept कर सकते हो reasonable time के बाद. So thank you very much for watching this video. And if you have any query, अगर आपकी कोई query है, या if you want, we should also bring video on some other topic. अगर आपको लगता है किसी और टॉपिक पे हमें न्यू वीडियो लाना चाहिए, then also you can comment in the comment box. We'll definitely do it. Till then, bye bye, take care, and also subscribe to your YouTube channel CA Sansaar. Thank you very much.